Okay, so here we are with a variation on the last program. I've made this more sophisticated. I have created a menu. These are just text window.writeline statements, but I'm presenting the user with choices, 4 choices. Happy, how do you feel right now? Happy, sad, lucky, or feel like dancing? So the happy will print if they choose happy, then we'll print the smiley face. Sad, we'll do the blue frown again. Lucky, I have a green shamrock, or this is the club from the suits of cards. And then the dancing option, I also have a musical note, which I'm printing in red. So I'll show you how to do that. And we'll take a look at the syntax here. So I said the menu were just a bunch of text window.writeline statements. So I just construct the menu from top to bottom and then ask the user to choose. So, and I mean, in this program, I haven't accounted for the fact that the user might enter something totally inappropriate, like the number 5 even. That's not one of the choices. So I'm just taking it on faith that the user is going to enter the correct thing. If this were a professional program, we would have to anticipate the user entering some kind of invalid input, and we would have to handle that in some way. So maybe we'll look at an option like a quick option in this video. So here's my, oh, and then I'm just reading the choice from the text window.read number. So I'll have, and I'm putting it into a variable called choice. So this is going to have, if the user does what the user is expected to do, then choice is going to have a 1 through 4 in it, okay? So now I run it through the sandwich. Look at how much bigger, taller the sandwich is. We have a quadruple layer sandwich, or quadruple decker sandwich, 4-layer sandwich, because there are 4 avenues of execution, 4 possibilities here, because we're giving the user 4 choices. So anyway, if the choice is 1, then we print the smiley face. You know what? One thing I did not mention in the last video, to print some of these special characters, you can use this method. We'll look at text methods a little later in the semester. It's not a super important topic, and this is just fluff. You know, some students like to play around with it, but I'm not going to require you to work with these special characters. But you can say text.getCharacter, and then the character code is what we would call an ASCII code, for example. They're saying it's a Unicode base. That's just another system for characters. But let me show you something, and I'll post this if you're interested. If you're not, don't worry. It's not important. But these are the ASCII characters for some of the special characters. They're not all going to work in Small Basic, but I know the smiley face works, the heart, the diamond, the club, and so on. A few of these, like the musical note, you see that working, the sun, the little sun, or whatever that is. So some of them do work. And also, just while we're looking at this, you can see some, like the E with an accent over it, like if you wanted to write the word cafe and spell it the proper way with the accent on the E. So these are ASCII codes, and I'll post that table for you. But basically, that's how you can make a special character. So moving on, else if, look at that word, else if, all one word, no space, just a syntax thing. Else if choice equals 2, then we're going to do the blue frown. Okay, now there is no frown character, so I just have to do a sideways frown. And then else if it's 3, then we're going to do the green shamrock, or the green club. We'll pretend it's a shamrock. Else if 4, then we're going to do the red musical symbol. Now, one thing I could do in this program is do a little bit of input validation. Like, let's say they enter 5 or 6 or -1 or something like that. What I'll do is I can add an else clause, and this becomes like the default. Okay, I could say something like, I'll do a right line, just something very simple like invalid input. Okay, invalid input. So now, let me run this. I'm entering 5, which is not one of the choices. There you go. Game over, right? So again, just syntax. And let me just, while I'm talking about this, let me just go ahead and show you some common mistakes you might see. Like, for example, I'm going to comment this out. Let's pretend that's not there. And I'll see students do this. I'm not sure if that would run or not. Yeah, see, that's a problem. See, you're only going to have, these are conditions, right? These relational expressions. Those always follow an if when you're doing this. Okay, the else is only for like that last option, if nothing else matches. Because the way this executes is like it's just running and just looking for a true. We said relational expressions evaluate to true or false. So it just goes down the line, and when it finds a true, it executes that layer of the sandwich, and then it skips the rest. It skips the rest. So the else becomes like the last resort. Okay, none of the above were true, so it's got to be this. So it's like you're not going to have a condition following the else. You're just not. Okay, so be careful about that. And then another thing I'll say, this is another mistake I see students do. I don't know what's going to happen here. Let me see if I can, yeah, okay. We have another error. The word if, even if it's attached to an else, okay, even if it's an else if like, think of the word in plain English, all right? If I say to you, if you get your homework done, you can play video games for the rest of the day. Or else if, and then I just stop talking. I say else if, and then I don't say anything else. You're like, what? Else if what? Every time you use the word if in English, something else follows. Some kind of condition follows. Same with programming. So you're not just going to have like a hanging or a dangling if like this. Now, Small Basic is like, if what? If what? What is, what comes after this? So just be careful. These are just little syntax quirks. But what's nice is they do kind of mirror plain English. So, yeah. Anyway, there you have it.